And we're off. Hello and welcome to this special edition Thanksgiving episode of who knows what this is called, but we're going to sit here and talk for a while. So Alex sent me a text the other day. Actually, he sent it to, everybody will be familiar with this. He sent a message intended for me to a group with a bunch of other people that he was not intending to send this message to. Thankfully, there was nothing bad. No bad information.
I wasn't making fun of anybody in that group.
No bad information, but here's what the message said. You want to do a podcast on Wednesday, look back at the comp and give the guys some feedback, hopefully give them some motivation to get back at it for some of those boys who have dropped off. And then the other part's irrelevant to this conversation, but...
Yeah, that's what one of the things that I would like to do is I was thinking when I left here on Thursday, I guess, I was thinking about just sending a message to the Signal chat of, hey, quick survey for you guys. What makes you come when we do the competition and then completely drop off when we stop the competition? But I hadn't thought through it well enough to see that how many people are actually doing that. So I didn't want to, if it's only like 2, I didn't want to, I could just text those people individually, obviously. So
couple of them have also left the group chat. So,
oh really?
Yeah.
I know some people weren't really coming before the competition, jumped in the competition to try it out, and then maybe it's just not for them. I was thinking more of the people that have been here a while. Their frequency of attending the gym increases when we're in competition season, but then it tends to drop off.
Yeah. When
they don't have that extra motivation. So trying to figure out how we could get that motivation to stick. But then also wanting to kind of pair it with looking back at the competition, give some feedback to some individuals, also just continue to teach and coach through this stuff for guys that just want to get better and learn more about the stuff and figure out how to get better.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Kind of a quick little recap, I guess. So, I don't know how far back I want to go, but, Alex and I have always kind of been, into competitive fitness racing. Our kind of origins in this stuff is the two of us used to get together and work out in Pastor Justin's garage at, is it 6 a.m.?
Yeah.
6 a.m. and wake up his kids with loud barbells crashing on the ground. And we've always enjoyed that stuff. Now pair that with a desire to help people and I would say more the knowledge of understanding how this is just a small piece of being able to solve some really big problems with just health and good stewardship of the human body as Christians, believing that we are responsible, right? We are responsible to steward our bodies well. And this was, one piece of doing that, right? So fast forward a bunch of years, we've got the gym, and, we kind of lean pretty heavily on the side of, hey, chronic disease, bad, take care of yourself, good. And nothing we ever were leading into was ever untrue, but it was certainly not kind of hitting the centerpiece of what we're really personally, passionate about, invested in, and whatever. And so, pair that with, I would say, lack of success in engaging some specifically men that we want to engage. And so we kind of leaned in heavily to this stuff that we've always, we've done these little competitions for years, dating way back before we had the gym. And so it was just like, hey, let's lean into that, try to get guys engaged with that. And lo and behold, it has worked. And not only just worked in engaging them in the competitive environment, but a lot of the guys who back in the spring, we did engage with this stuff have really sunk their teeth into everything we're teaching, right? Yeah. So it's like, hey, it's working. Let's keep it up.
Yeah, that's what we were hoping for. Is the competition would be a couple times a year where people who are already consistently doing good things, being in the gym, starting to learn the other principles, implementing those into their life. But now here's kind of a time of going a little bit harder, challenging ourselves, testing ourselves, see where our fitness is at, but also do it in an environment where you're able to do it with other men, lock arms with them, continue to build camaraderie, but also have an opportunity to celebrate what we've been doing the rest of the year. So that's what this competition is about. These competitions are about. What we wanted to do here is kind of look back at this most recent one and highlight some things.
Cool. So, floor is yours. I don't know where you want to go with this.
Well, let's just start with, because and again, if we had a guy on here that was a lot smarter than me with these numbers, this would probably be much easier. But looking back, originally,
David, Dom, Grotman. Hey, if any of you, Dom's here. Man, Jarek's standing in this. Yeah. Shut up. Dom, click on that other link there and get on here, dude.
But looking at the original rankings that I did and you blindly approved, seeing how far off I was, the numbers that I looked at,
pull it up here.
In terms of teams, it looks like Remington R9. I don't remember what the R9 was for. What the heck is that?
I have no idea.
Somebody changed that. That was is that Kurt?
You're just talking about the team name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me start screen sharing.
Anyway, they ended with 722 points overall. So taking that divided by 3.5, since there was 3.5 scores, I believe they were the only team that finished around the 207 mark, which is where everybody should have been at if we all tied.
Okay, you're looking at this one, right? Nope, not that one. Wait for it. This is a big delay. That one.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Oh wait, no.
That's the one I'm looking at.
This one. Yeah, I don't know what this was.
I mean, that shows what seed they were, what they averaged for their scores.
Either way, we'll go with this one.
Okay. So the 722.5 is what they finished at. Take that across 3.5, and you probably could have just added up something else to get that number, but again, not an expert in these spreadsheets. But they're the only team, I think, that ended around that 207 mark. And then you got Keep Ethan Up and May the Forge, and they went the other direction. They were about 15 to 20 points off of where they should have been, which we'll talk about later why that was the case. And then Johnny No Pull-Ups and Meat and Fruit, they were in the positive direction, a lot better than what they were projected with the 207, you guys being
So, I mean,
the best.
That checks out, right? 5 teams. The third place team, they're kind of become the median. The bottom 2 underperformed. The top 2 overperformed.
There you go. See, those rankings were spot on, man.
It just doesn't help your cause when you and I are the ones who are 1 and 2.
No, it doesn't. It does not. But if we look at this, and this is kind of just this is perspective, I guess. This isn't any sort of objective evidence here, but I guess I gave Kevin's, so Josh Galliard had a team, and they had I think the least amount of people that returned, or they just did the worst last time in the spring. So we dissolved his team to make 5. So Josh being the number 1 seed coming out of that, I gave him to Kevin.
Yeah.
It just so happened that Josh did 7 points worse than what he was ranked at.
Sorry, Josh.
And then I took Scott and I said, okay, I know there's going to be running in this competition. Scott's been consistent coming to the gym. I can see there being some workouts programmed that he's going to do very well in. So I ranked him at top 20, and I gave that to Kevin. So again, thinking that he was going to be pretty solid. And then AK was already on Kevin's team, but in all the competitions that we've done, Alex typically does exactly where he's ranked.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter if it's, he's ranked 20th. He usually gets around 20th on every workout. But yeah, he did 6 less than what he was. And part of this, I mean, I don't know how to explain Josh. I think that's probably just a lack of doing CrossFit type workouts consistently of why he dropped off.
Where's the one? I thought I had there it is. There it is. So where's Josh? Yeah. Josh overall, we can see right here, was 15th place overall after the 3 events. So sorry, Josh. Really underperformed there.
Again, I think probably because he hasn't been doing those type of workouts. That's why he was a captain last time, because he came in and with the workouts that we did to seed everybody, he did really well. So part of that was programming. Part of that was just him not doing it. But I think with Scott, most of it was programming with him. Like, he did, the first one had the heavy deadlifts, which he struggled in a lot. So pretty much, negated any sort of running strength that he had. The last one, I can't remember if he did it RX or not, but I think he did. But the front squats are going to be heavy for him. Do we have one where it shows what they ranked in every workout?
So that would here, if you go to, so the one that is labeled Dom Cooking.
Okay.
You can look at, you have to scroll down, right? So it's sorted. This is starting to get above my pay grade here.
Oh yeah. So he got on third. He got 20. The third workout. So the strict press.
Yeah.
He got 28, and he was ranked 16th. So that's a negative 12.
Yeah. Right.
Oh no, that was the last one.
You're looking at the front squat one?
Yeah, it's just labeled third workout though. So I didn't see that he had 2B instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. Where did Scott finish on? Yeah, he was still on 2B, 28th.
Yeah, and so here's a good breakdown of kind of how this played out versus the open. Josh was eating 1,200 calories a day, Lane says.
That would also do it.
Not good for performance, we'll say that. So with
maybe one of those parasites was halfway coming out during the competition too, or something.
With the open style of programming, there are bigger separators in skill. Okay, and so with those separators in skill, yes, fitness matters, right? But when I say fitness, I'm saying work capacity. Okay. Having skills is going to end up in a higher placement, like, no matter what, right? You can do something somebody else can't. They're stopped dead in their tracks, right? Skill is at any level. Skill is like a prerequisite.
Yeah.
Okay. So the open rewards for skill pretty heavily. Okay. Especially that second week where you've got pull up, chest to bar muscle up, double under, right? Plus a heavier element with a 135 thruster. It's like, man, you have those things. It doesn't really matter how fast you do them. If you slowly chip away at those, you're going to demolish somebody overall who gets to a chest to bar and, spends the rest of their time trying to get one rep after another, right?
Yeah.
The big difference between that and these, while there were certain gatekeepers as far as loading and movements, the would say all the movements were lower skill, and the the strength limiters weren't crazy, and so it was a lot more of a just overall fitness test, right? And so that allows some of these guys who may not have some of the skills that Josh, who's been around for a long time, would have. That is why he would place lower, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I would say that the strength wasn't crazy heavy, but if you had, like myself, if deadlift is one of your worst movements, then that's going to be the crux of that workout.
Sure.
Right? If you can't front squat like Dom, Dom can't even get into that position. Although he has the fitness to get there to the bike and would have done well on the bike.
Yeah.
He just can't get there because of his, the actual movement that was there. So I don't know that you would call a front squat a skill, but if you can't actually get into that position, then that's going to, and I would say, there was other people that were in that position as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, those are, I was just kind of answering your, why we were so far off on May the Forge. Keep Ethan up. They actually aren't that far off, I don't think. I mean, Javin was off. He would be a great example of what you were just talking about.
Yep.
If we would have had, if
very
there would have
similar
been
to Josh.
chest to bar, if there would have been handstand push-ups, if there would have been a lot of burpees,
Yeah.
Javin would have been top 5 probably.
Right. There's a handful of workouts where nobody would be touching him. He would be a first place with plenty of room to spare.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of why you have to rank him that high. But when that doesn't show, there's a big gap between.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think people knew this, but just to make sure they knew this, we didn't know the workouts and then make these teams. We made these teams knowing that he was going to do workouts that weren't exactly like the open.
Yeah.
So in that, I assumed, okay, there's going to be handstand push-ups or whatever. So Javin was ranked pretty high. So he probably would have been better off around 10th to 12th. Had we known the workouts, that's probably where we would have put him. Sam, he got that low just because of the strength workout.
Mm-hmm.
Adam probably similar, but that's not too bad. And we ranked him 23rd. He was at 25th. AG, I had no idea where to put him.
I mean, pretty close, honestly.
Yeah. And then Bryson.
Right. Yeah. Those, like looking at the differentials there, it's not terribly far off. The big problem is they don't have much green, right?
Right.
They don't have the deep red of Josh and Scott, but they don't. Their highest overperformer is Curtis down there with 2.
Looking back, probably should have put Sam Schmidt on Sam Martin's team and gave UAG. Probably should have put Nate with May the Forge and given me Scott.
Mm-hmm.
That would have made things probably a lot easier.
Lot more interesting.
Yep. All right. Next thing then is just looking at some of these guys and seeing what would be some suggestions, what would be some feedback for these guys. I think the best thing is probably whatever Jarek IS is.
What?
You have Jarek IS?
Oh. This is so that's just looking at everybody's individual placement in each workout.
Right. So this is what so basically who would benefit from just getting stronger?
Right. So
who would benefit from just being here more often?
Here's what's really funny. So, obvious outliers. Say you look at Tatum, right? 1-1, 18-2. Okay. Clear outlier of get stronger, right? Sam, same thing. 3-5, 24-7. I would not have expected Javin's numbers to be 18, 10, 9, 11. Right?
Well, that's back to yes, get stronger for sure for both of those guys, but it's also what's the lift?
Right.
If this would have been a clean,
for sure,
then Tatum would have been 1-1, probably 5-2.
Yeah.
If this would have been a clean, Javin wouldn't have been 9 because
Yeah, right.
it was shoulder
Right.
strength, which
Right,
he's gonna
sure.
he's gonna
And
crush.
you know, the two limiters there on week 1 for Javin is probably deadlift strength for one, and then running and just overall
Toughness.
grit.
But again, burpees, he would have had that grit.
Sure.
It's,
That's fair.
because that's probably what he's used to doing with wrestling and stuff. Used to just getting down, getting up, but running. It's so interesting that, I mean, Kevin. I don't know how much we'll talk about Kevin today, but this is a good time to talk about him. Like with running, he can smoke most people.
Oh yeah.
But if you pair running with other stuff,
It's just gonna negate.
yeah. So
But okay, so that's good. So let's compare the top 6 here, because was that the only workout? No, not the only one. But that's a good example where I don't know who was 5th on that
on what?
on the first week.
Logan.
Oh, it's Logan. Okay, we gotta ignore Logan there. But if it's just running, it's gonna be Sam, Tatum, Kev. Okay, maybe throw Logan up there. Gosh, now I even lost my train of thought because Logan freaking screwed this up. But so compared to, us top guys, or I guess suppose that's the rest of the field, right? He's going to be able to be competitive for a win there, and still fit enough that he's not going to finish lower than 6th on anything.
Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, that music is loud.
It is loud. What I was just going to say something else about him though. Oh, he's also one that's interesting to me, and I know I have these days, but Kevin, like, I'm just wondering how the hell he got 11th on the strict press, because again, if you did strict handstand push-ups, he's top 3 easy,
Right.
maybe even right behind Javin. But there's days when he'll smoke whatever, he'll front squat, he'll hit 275 easy. But then there's days like 225. So I don't know if it's a mental thing or if it's just because he plays 18 other sports and muscles, fatigue compounds.
Yeah, I mean, with him, I would probably that'd be one of the first things I would look at is just overall, recovery day over day. Because he's applying his fitness outside of these walls probably more than anybody else. And that with so many other variables to be, keeping track of, I absolutely would say it's probably just a matter of like chronic volume,
So then to get to maybe how some of these guys could perform, I don't know that anybody else is like Kevin in this way, but Kevin probably does the most outside of what we do in here. That would, where he would have to recover. So if he actually wanted to improve his fitness in the gym, what would you suggest to him in terms of, should he just be continuing to come in here and work out like he has been, or?
It is, so there's 2 pieces to that. So I think the first thing is what I was saying, as far as, hey, there probably is some real, something physical that's happening where when you are under recovered, essentially, your performance is going to take a hit. Now, that can be like the initial thing that's happening, but you also respond to that, right? And so that's where I think you can really get in trouble, is when it's one of those days, right, where you just don't have that extra kick, and then when it's just like you mentally give up on something, that is when it's like, holy cow, where did that come from, right? So I think that's probably the quickest and easiest thing to do is, hey, emotionally detach from those things,
right?
Right. But then second, it would be, all right. I used to tell Tatum this repeatedly. You can do as much work as you can recover from, right? And so increasing fueling, increasing sleep, increasing, recovery things, doing the sauna and the ice and the foam rolling and all that kind of stuff, right? Anything that's going to assist the recovery process, it's like that's going to be the answer to be able to continue to perform at higher levels more often, right?
Yeah. Right. And again, we always have to, we're going to give feedback here, but you always have to think about what your goal is. Kevin's goal right now seems to, yes, stay fit, which he is, a very fit dude, but also continue to do all that other stuff. So
right.
He's probably more concerned if he was really tired for his volleyball tournament, that where he beats 1,500 teams, instead of, not doing well on a Diane or something.
Uh-huh.
So that's him. Just be watching if you're overtrained, recovery, how those other things factor into your weekly fitness. So if we're putting Tatum in the category of getting stronger, who else would we say it? So Sam, Zach.
Oh yeah, you really just got to look at where that 2B dips down below lots of the other ones. AB is in that boat.
AB.
Andy's in that boat.
Logan.
Here's a funny one. Connor Welvert is the opposite. Connor, you're strong enough.
Well, again, that's definitely movement specific.
Golly. Let's see here. Who takes a dip? Jason Schmelzer.
Yeah. So I would say Jason, Zach, Logan, Andy, Sam, Tatum. Do we have somebody else?
Logan. Did you say Logan?
Yeah. Garrett would be in that one. He's huge. 14, 19, 41.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But then, so honestly, as we're looking at that column 2B, there's a handful that are those exact opposites, right? So Connor's one of them, overperforming on that, but even bigger ones. So we got friggin' Nate, David, Colton, right? We've got top 10 guys, right, who don't touch anything above 15 on anything else.
Right. So, but for that first group, obviously if they were training for some significant competition, they would benefit from not really doing any sort of metabolic conditioning and just focus on getting stronger.
Sure.
But nobody's training for anything like that. They want to continue doing what we're doing in the gym. What would be some things that they could do to increase?
So I would say the first thing, which really doesn't change anything structurally about what you're doing, it would simply be walking in every day. First of all, knowing that you're going to put your effort in on building strength. Okay. So that can be as simple as decision making for what weight you're going to use on a strength piece, right? It can be as simple as, trying to find failure versus, doing something a little more comfortable, right? That's just in how you're approaching doing strength work, right? It can come down to something as simple as, hey, you essentially like sandbag part one. And here's what's funny. Connor did this last week. He did it was like the opposite of this. Opposite for his scoring. Anyway, you can very easily walk into a two-part workout where it's like you're going to lift something heavy, you're going to breathe heavy, right? And you can kind of take the first part easy, trying to conserve to go hard on the second part, right? Really, really easy thing to do. And I would say, hey, flip-flop it, right? If you're in that boat, totally flip-flop it. If you're just cashed out coming off of a heavy back squat session, or like your arms are dying benching and pull ups, whatever it is, just that level of effort is a huge component.
Yeah.
But then thinking about in a Metcon setting, again, decision making there on not just how you are going to potentially scale something, right? If it is, a weight on a barbell or a weight for a kettlebell or something like that, like, yes, that's a factor. Do the heavy thing even when it's going to slow you down. But it also can come down to just how you approach execution on something, right? And instead of, so this is, not to throw you under the bus here, but it's like, that's one of the reasons why you did not get better at toe bar for a very, very long time, right? Because it was always like, hey, if there's anything more than friggin' 10 reps, it's going to be singles, right? Yeah. And so if you always kind of break something up for just execution, right? I'm not saying, so here's the other thing. You got to lay your ego aside on a day-to-day basis, because the reality is, yeah, you probably could perform better, have a faster time on something by executing a strategy like doing single reps or something, but that's not going to lead to as much increase in strength and capacity on those movements as if you were to kind of hang on and go to failure, even though that's going to take you longer to recover from it and be able to continue on in the workout, right?
Right.
Overall, though, that's starting to address some of those weaknesses and some of those holes on a day-to-day basis that really doesn't have to take additional strength work, additional accessory work, blah, 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 right? It's just a matter of how you're walking in and executing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. Yeah, that first thing you were talking about, I did that on Tuesday, where I took it easy on the first part by not even showing up for the lunges. I just showed up halfway through the class and did the muscle up workout. So what I was hearing you say is you don't have to necessarily change anything about the programming, right? You just come in, if there is a strength piece and a conditioning piece, if your goal is to get stronger, most of your focus and effort's going to go into that strength piece, sacrificing some for the Metcon portion instead of the other way around.
Yeah, and I would say the goal is to become fit enough where you can go, all out for all of it, right? Not saying, hey, that like you're sprinting everything all the time, but like with the thing at hand, right? Appropriate pacing, blah, blah, blah. Yes. But the goal is to be able to have that high level of intensity for your 60 minutes once a day, right?
Yeah.
And come back tomorrow and be able to do it again, right?
Yeah. So this to kind of pair it with what we were just talking about. Let's say we know that deadlifts are coming at the end of the week. We're doing a strength portion, a strength cycle on deadlifts. If I know I'm going to do better on that deadlift if I'm not completely wore out by Friday because I've went so hard on Metcons throughout the rest of the week. Would it be beneficial for me to still do the Metcons, but not go all out so that I'm able to actually build strength on that Friday deadlift? Or am I going to build just as much strength if I get there and then whatever I can do, I'm still putting in, as much intensity as possible that particular day?
So I think that's probably a bigger programming question than anything else. Because ideally, if it's, hey, we're, cycling heavy deadlifts on Friday, ideally the program is set up so that you're not walking into that with a posterior that's been worked pretty hefty.
Sure.
Right.
But your programming is a general programming, right? It's not like specific for the men who are trying to get stronger.
That's a sticky subject.
Well, it is. Like, we're trying to get everybody stronger, but I meant like the dudes that are supposed to be focusing.
Sure, somebody who has a hole, right? So if the goal is in a program like what we do, if the goal is to rise all tides, right? To slowly but surely kind of be getting better across everything, right? And so I guess if looking at this sheet, you're looking at you're looking at me, you're looking at Alec Federer, you're looking at, Kev's pretty close there, but basically where you see a broad test and consistent scores, right? Consistent scores. So, Lane would be he's close, but he has this outlier where he wins the strength event. So it's like that. He's basically the opposite of what we're talking about here. But consistency is kind of what we're talking about. Even looking down a little bit, doesn't have to be at the top, right? Jordan, he's pretty consistent on there. Tony, pretty consistent as far as like all of your rankings kind of falling in one little window. Honestly, Ethan's pretty consistent there, right? 10 to 16. We got 6 point differential there. So in those cases, okay, you don't have this big outlier. It's like, yeah, you need nothing more than to rise all tides, right? You slowly get better at anything, right? Or at everything. So we are talking about when something is imbalanced, right? And everybody has holes, right? So it's like, I know the handful of movements where it's like, hey, if these things show up without me being able to offset this with something else, it's like I'm gonna take a huge hit here, right? And I would say, just like anything else we teach, step one is having that awareness, right? Have that awareness so where you're not like just blindly, decision making as you're going through a workout, but you have to know what those things are, right? Then kind of what we were already saying, hey, here's some ideas of how you can do something about that, how you can approach that. But then it ultimately always is going to come down to, okay, what you have been doing is perfectly got you the result you currently have, right? So something has to change. You have to know how to change it, and then you got to do it day in, day out. You got to actually develop the practice of doing that thing that's going to kind of shore up that imbalance.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think just along those lines, if you look at most of these guys at the bottom, so from Kevin, Connor, Dom, Scotty, John, Witter, Josh, Kurt, Jason, Robert, even Eric, and then Adam and Kurt, Bryson, AG. If those guys would just be in the gym consistently with more, just months of CrossFit style workouts underneath their belt, they would all improve.
For sure.
Now, if we keep these same guys in the competition for years to come, they're all going to improve together, and they're probably still going to be, they might catch some of those other guys as they drop off, but they're going to be similar placement. But yeah, I think a lot of it is just consistency in the gym. You mentioned the skill stuff, so there's probably guys on here that if they just learned skills, they would improve.
So
I think Logan is one of those guys. Tony's probably one of those guys. Dom, if you just
right. So Logan's, compare Logan's. So week 3 and week 1. Okay, week 1 he really overperforms on the running. Week 3, the objective on that workout is the bike, right? Which he should be, not quite as good as his running, but not far off, right?
Yeah.
But he's 9 points lower there because of the skill and the strength with the total bar and the front squat, right? 20 took 20th on the strict press just as a proxy for overall strength.
Also got hurt there, and it's kept him away from the gym all the way up until now.
We're not talking about that. Huge thing. Being better at a skill like a total bar.
Yeah. Then you got Steele here. Just think if he would have done not the spread eagle toes to bar, where he would have been at.
Hey, but also his best finish, so I can't argue with that.
Jason's another. So Jason would be a good just case study of what we're talking about. If we would have looked at this after the spring, he would have been down at least a couple rows here. But he's been in the gyms, learning skills. He's learning just how to step into workouts, how to strategize.
That 8th place finish on the rope climb workout, dude. If we would have done that in the spring, he probably would have taken like high 20s.
Yeah.
Is my guess.
Yeah. So for him, it's strength too. That would have dropped the 19th. The deadlifts probably is what got him on that first one.
Mm-hmm.
He would have dropped a lot too.
Mm-hmm.
Any other things on here that you would? I would like to see a dude like Colton
Yeah.
I mean, he's a former, power lifter, bodybuilder type dude. He says, what was it? We did some workout. Maybe it was just the strength one that we did for the benchmark.
Okay.
Front squat and
Yeah.
power snatch.
Yep.
What else? What else was it?
It's bench. It's
Bench press.
power snatch, front squat, bench.
He said he would have been up close to Lane. And then I was like, dude, Lane's getting front squat probably 400 pounds. He's like, I've back squatted 500 pounds before. Whoa.
Let's see it. Prove it, boy. Prove it.
So, yeah, I would love to see him just get in, be able to do more of the functional fitness type stuff. Adam at 40 on the strict press. What is he? He needs some more greens in his diet or what?
That's a tough one. I mean, I'm gonna guess he was tired from part one. And I'm gonna guess it's probably one of his worst lifts if I were to take a stab at that.
Hey, but 17 on one workout. I mean, he was around where we ranked him at. This is coming from a guy I thought only worked out one time a year doing Murph.
Oh, no. He works out a lot, but I would say he is victim to kind of the when you work out by yourself, right? Like you can kind of just do what you want.
So
take
constantly varied functional movements, low intensity.
No, I don't even know that I would say I would take it down on all three, right? Probably not as varied. Probably not, the full scope of what we would want to be touching with functional movement patterns, and definitely lower in the scope of intensity. But
was he a
he does a lot, right?
what's that one guy that used to be a CrossFitter and now he does a bunch of kettlebell stuff?
What?
Or functional bodybuilding stuff?
Oh, Marcus Phillip. Yeah,
That's
he's
his
been
guy.
doing that for a long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. AB's always surprising.
He's
Got to get stronger though.
right, but he's got the skills. He's got most of the skills, and that's a huge benefit.
I would love to see Drew in the next one, just even after the Saturdays. Just being back in here.
He said he was destroyed from this past Saturday.
Johnny would benefit from, I would say, stuff outside of the gym. Changing stuff outside of the gym would improve his performance inside of the gym, even without getting in the gym more. I mean, he would obviously benefit from getting in the gym more.
Right.
But if his rhythms were different and, he didn't just eat right before he came, he didn't, have to go on vacation. So he says, hey, I have to do 2 back-to-back competition workouts
Right.
instead of waiting a week between them.
Right.
He would have improved, if I don't try to do muscle ups when the workout's not going
Mm-hmm.
and injure myself.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he's I think Johnny could be a lot better just if there was consistency there. Scotty improved this time. Scotty continues to get better. That's awesome to see. Sam was a friggin' dark horse, but he'll continue to improve. Who else on here? Jason. Jason is one that Jason Snook. Just consistency in the gym's going to improve him.
Apparently, he's got a squat rack at the house that's been getting some use. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, I know Paige has been using it.
How about Andy? You think there's anyone else like Andy, where he's just kind of a slow twitch muscle?
Garrett. Andy. What's funny is there's certain workouts that I don't think Andy could beat. There's a handful of styles of workouts where Garrett and Andy would be like neck and neck, right? But for most other things, Andy's basically just a better, stronger, more skilled Garrett.
Yeah. So here's a question, and this is kind of, I don't know how helpful this will be for anybody else. This is just more for me. But I've heard TTT guys talk about, so somebody like Andy that's, endurance type athlete, he's going to get stronger, not by doing the typical, 5x5, that type of stuff, by doing lower weight, higher reps, because he's enduring.
Sure.
He can do,
sure,
bigger sets of stuff. And that's how he would get stronger over time.
Right. So ultimately that would be leaning. All you're really looking for there is, total working volume, right? And so, yeah, a guy like him can get to a higher overall working volume with more reps at lower weight than just pushing the weight as high as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
I wonder if he's ever tried that before.
So that's similar. Yeah, that is a little bit more into like programming nuance than just execution on something. But he could definitely apply it in certain circumstances for sure.
All right. So how far away are we from the next one?
Dude, what's crazy is JR already's like putting out, hey, about to start open prep.
Wow.
Right. So the open starts, it's the last week of February. So we got to kind of get our butts in gear deciding if we want to change some format things. Got to figure out if we want to do anything before. So in the spring we did the seating workouts.
Mm-hmm.
What if and what we would want to do prior to it, how we want to organize teams, all that kind of good stuff. Yeah, but that's end of February. So I guess here's a pitch. Here's a big pitch. 1, 2. I mean, you basically got 3 months here. You got 3 months until the open. Not only are we there's a general argument and a specific argument. So the general argument is, hey, if you have 3 months of consistency between today and then, right, you are like that's going to be the biggest and best thing you can possibly do, right? Get in here, get stronger, get fitter, acquire some skills, right? That's going to set you up for success. The more you can be here in between today and that day is huge. And starting probably more like the first of the year, all of our programming will be pretty tailored to getting tuned up for the open, right? Probably a little less strength work. Definitely not running in the middle of the winter. More focused on the movements and loadings and styles of workouts that we generally see in the open. We're going to be training, in that specific direction. So not only just, hey, get good work in consistently over time. This is a time of year where we do kind of train specifically for this thing.
Yeah. So this would be time, nail down toes to bar, nail down chest to bar, nail down double unders, that type of stuff.
For sure.
We don't have them.
For sure, all those.
Yep. Yep. All right, and then benchmark. We were supposed to do one in November.
Yeah, so we're gonna double up in December. Just saying that right now. Yeah, our monthly benchmarks will double up in December, and those will be fun. Not.
Okay. Well, why don't we have them vote
Vote for what?
on how we want to do the next competition? Do we want to do the seating workouts? Do we want to?
I'm not a fan of democracy.
You're not a fan. Well, we don't have to take what they. We don't have to take what they vote on, but we can at least see where people are at.
Yeah, one of the things that one of the ideas we've been toying around with is kind of setting a number. You know, we're gonna have 6 teams of 6, right? And essentially competing to get on a team, right? Yeah. Then throughout the course of the competition, reseeding to see who maintained their spot or blah 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 blah, right? Mm-hmm. So there's, we have made, I would say, improvements from the spring to the fall, and just continue to layer in best practice as we go.
Cool.
Okay. I called this episode Diatribe Thanksgiving, so thanks, guys.